What's up, guys? It's your boy Kristian with the latest episode of the Champ Life podcast. And today we have a special guest, someone I've known since he was a little kid, Rory Bratter. He is one of the fight coordinators on the Ghost TV show brought to you by 50 Cent on the Star Network. Rory, what's up, man?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Kristian, it's a pleasure to be here as well, man.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. You took the ride out from Astoria.
Yes, sir.
Out to the island this Sunday morning.
Yeah, with the snow and everything.
Yeah. I appreciate it, man. So,
Absolutely.
So how's everything? How's everything been, man?
Everything's great. I recently moved here from Vegas.
Okay.
I was working for Cirque du Soleil in Las Vegas as a professional martial artist and a general acrobat.
That's what's up.
And kind of when pandemic hit, all the show shut down, and it was just a good opportunity for me to come here and kind of pursue my goals in the film industry.
Okay.
So for the past year and a few months, I've been kind of focusing 100% on film and designing action sequences.
That's what's up. And I've seen a lot of your stuff on social media, and I'm like, the stuff you do is incredible.
Thanks.
The way he moves his body, you guys got to see it. Check, below. Look at all his information. Check his social media out. Some of your YouTube stuff, right? You got it on YouTube as well?
Yeah, I've got it on YouTube. Yeah, there's a ton of videos on YouTube, competition videos, personal videos.
Yeah, the way he moves his body and manipulates it, and he trains people to do the same thing is just amazing. So,
Thank you.
how did you get started in this world of fight coordinating and so forth? Where did it all start? From the beginning?
From the beginning. So, as a kid, I was a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan, and there wasn't very many opportunities where I wasn't flipping off couches and doing jump kicks and things like that. And kind of around the time between when I was like 4 to 6 years old, my dad just thought it was a great time to start in martial arts.
Right.
I was obsessed with Bruce Lee movies. I was obsessed with Jet Li, and mainly the Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers kind of really put me on to martial arts. So my father actually put me into a local martial arts school that was run by Sifu Moses Orocho.
Okay.
So my first martial arts discipline that I studied was actually Chinese kickboxing, or Northern Shaolin.
Okay.
And I trained there, and Sifu Moses was very much like me in a sense that he was a smaller guy, and he had a huge personality, and he was able to instill a lot of mental fortitude. It wasn't just about him teaching us martial arts or martial arts techniques or weapons and things like that. He trained our mind as well,
Right.
which was something that I really still use to this day.
Absolutely. As a teacher in this world of martial arts, it's important that you instill a lot of great values in your students and motivation, inspiration, and
Absolutely.
drive.
Absolutely.
Moises did that for you.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, Moises not only trained us as athletes, but he trained our mind. So I would say it was pretty equal as far as what he was teaching us on a mental fortitude side of things, and as well as what he was teaching us physically.
Right.
And him being somebody that was a smaller guy just resonated with him because I was actually a really small kid.
Right.
So it really kind of took me out of the turtle shell that I was in. I was actually a really shy kid.
Oh, yeah?
Until I started martial arts.
Yeah,
I was actually really shy until I got through high school, really.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I moved out of my house and became my own person where I actually kind of came out of my shell a little bit.
Right. And I'm sure, martial arts helped you, your confidence. You didn't have to be out super outgoing, but you were confident in yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of that came from, one, Moses, two, just my family dynamic.
Right.
And also my competitive career, that started from when I was a young child. I was competing on a local New York City martial arts circuit since I was probably 6 or 7 years old.
Right.
By the time I was 9 years old, I was competing nationally. So, yeah, that, going and putting your skills to the test against some of the other best martial artists in the country and being successful will absolutely grow your confidence. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I think martial arts definitely built my mental fortitude as well as my confidence level.
And back to competition. So you're competing as a kid. You were obviously winning a lot, I'm sure.
I had a really successful career.
Yeah?
Yeah, I had a very successful competitive career.
I just remember seeing pictures of you with trophies all the time and so forth. So I just know that you were very successful with that.
Yes, I had a really successful competitive career as a martial artist, and like I said, I competed basically every weekend growing up.
Yeah.
There was a lot of days, I was competing every weekend on the local circuit, and then once I started going national, on the national circuit, I was actually like leaving school Friday morning, flying to wherever to compete for the weekend, to come back, to go back to school, and then have to do it again next Friday.
Right.
So, yeah, it was a lot of traveling with my dad and going to these tournaments and just going head-to-head with some of the best competitors in the country, and then that national competition level kind of escalated into an international competition level where, I was able to make a U.S. national team.
Awesome.
And then, then it got real.
That's what's up.
So
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So competing on the national level, what kind of competition was it? Could you explain, like, what was it? Was it more coordinating stuff? Was it actual combat?
So I did a little bit of everything.
Right, that's what I figured. That's what
so there's kind of two aspects to martial arts competition. You have your, obviously, like, your sparring divisions, and you also have the performance aspect of it, which is like your forms and your weapons divisions. Now, what happened is I didn't just compete, and then let me backtrack for a second. So there's so many disciplines of martial arts. So many. You have your Chinese martial arts, which is typically your Kung Fu, your Wing Chun. You have your Japanese styles of martial arts, which is like your typical Shotokan, Ishinryu. You have Korean martial arts, which is Taekwondo, Tang Sudo. You have Brazilian martial arts, Capoeira, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Right.
So
many.
I didn't necessarily just compete in one style of martial arts. I competed in all of them.
Right.
So when you're competing on a national level, I would go to a tournament, I'd be in 6 or 7 divisions. Because I'm doing Japanese, I'm doing Korean, I'm doing open forms, I'm doing
crazy,
weapons,
dude.
I'm doing open weapons, I'm doing traditional weapons, I'm doing team sparring, I'm doing regular sparring.
Wow.
So it's just like going into a tournament, there was a lot of preparation that was involved and a lot of stress that came with that. And, luckily I had a father that was just as motivated and as supportive as I was,
Right.
and as well as, instructors that really believed in me and wanted to see me succeed.
Right. That I always see that, like, father-son teams, or when a father's very into what their kids are doing, the kid definitely excels a lot further than other kids who might not have that support.
Absolutely.
And I see that all the time in boxing, especially world champions. You see a lot of the fathers in the corner with their kids.
Absolutely. And, my dad was strict.
That's how you got to be.
My dad was very strict, and he gave a lot of tough love. There was times growing up where it was like the emphasis was more on my training than it was on my schoolwork.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was like the first question when he got home from work was, "Hey, you train today?"
Yeah.
It wasn't like, "Hey, did you do your homework?" You know what I mean? So
that's great.
And my dad was just hard. You know, my dad taught me how to work on my weakness. My dad always taught me that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. But if you have talent and you have work ethic, you're kind of unstoppable.
Yeah.
And my dad always really kind of made me be vulnerable with myself, look in the mirror a lot, work on my weakness, not necessarily work on my strengths. So I'm really grateful, and, like, honestly, I have the best pops in the planet, I wouldn't be here where I am today without my pops.
That's great.
And it was tough, like, growing up, having him training and watching my training sessions and him critiquing or hating on what I was doing, There were some times in training where I was like, forget love, does this dude like me? You know what I mean?
He loves you, man.
But, like, as I got older in life and I realized what that tough love was all about, and I kind of, get to take a look at my career and kind of the things that I've been able to accomplish, like, I wouldn't have done it any other way, and I'm just super grateful to have a parent or both parents that were really supportive of my dreams and my aspirations and what I wanted to do.
That's great, man. And you still have a great relationship with your dad. Like I said, I see
Yes.
I follow you on social media, so I see you with your dad going out. I don't know where, but you guys go out a lot together.
Yeah, I like to spend time with my pops. We're both diehard Knick fans.
Okay, me too.
Yeah, so we go to the Knick games a lot, and we watch the games. If there's a Knick game on, we're talking about it either during the game or after the game. My dad is my best friend.
That's great,
So I could talk to him about anything, and yeah, I mean, he gets to see but him and my wife probably get to see the most vulnerable side.
Yeah.
Of me, whereas, like, there's not many people that get to see that.
Right.
So
Well, they're the closest to you. So
absolutely,
I get it. So, talking about fatherhood, your dad, do you have? I know you don't have kids, but do you have kids in mind in the future?
I would love to have kids.
Right.
I coach a lot of kids.
Right.
And through coaching, it kind of taught me how to, one, be a role model. And like very similar to Moses, it's like I'm very good at teaching people how to do a skill.
Right.
But what I realized is it's so much more than just teaching somebody a skill. It's about being a leader, being a role model for people, and inspiring people to kind of follow in that footsteps if they're trying to pursue this same type of sport or career that I'm into.
Right.
So for a long time, I felt like, especially in my young 20s, when I was coaching, I was just teaching skills.
Right.
But I wasn't necessarily the best example for people.
Right.
And I had really talented students that would kind of go down this rabbit hole of being really good athletes, but not necessarily being professionals.
Right.
So that's kind of when I changed up my ethics when it came to coaching a little bit.
Okay. And where do you coach, if you don't mind me asking?
Currently, I coach in New Rochelle. So I'm actually teaching for UATW stunts in New Rochelle. And basically what we do is we teach people how to get into the film industry, and we teach them how to fight for film. And there's a ton of actors that come to the class and other, stunt performers and aspiring stunt performers.
Right.
So if anybody out there wants to learn about stunts or get involved in the business, come down to New Rochelle on Saturdays. Class starts at 10:30 a.m. So you guys,
That's cool.
I could probably give you a link or something that you can put up there.
We'll put it below.
Yes.
Definitely check it out down below. All his information is going to be there. So scroll up a little bit, you click.
Yeah, for sure. So UATW Stunts in New Rochelle is actually ran by a very close friend and stunt coordinator. His name is Chaz Menendez.
Okay.
And obviously with what I do, it kind of comes with the territory that it's a dangerous job.
Yeah.
And what was happening is a lot of injuries and fatalities were happening in our industry.
Right.
So Chaz started this school in order for younger stunt performers to come in and learn how to do things safely. So It's a fantastic program. It's really doing well, and it's great to see like a lot of newcomers come in and start, getting into the industry and killing it.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many more opportunities now. Over the past, say, 10 years with all the networks, Netflix, Hulu, everything, just so many platforms that are offering new shows.
Absolutely.
So the door is open for so many, people to come up in this industry.
Absolutely, and there's like a ton of new shows coming too.
Right.
And then like obviously with the pandemic, there was a ton of shows that were unfinished.
Right.
There was a ton of projects that were about to start. So it's kind of like, I wouldn't call it a boom, but it's getting busier. Pre-pandemic, it was super busy in New York.
Right. It's coming back?
Yes,
You
it's
feel it?
definitely coming back.
So let's get to that. Now that you're one of the fight coordinators for Ghost 50 Cent Show, how did that opportunity come about?
Well, okay, so I don't know if you know this, but right out of high school, I actually went to Cirque du Soleil. I signed a contract to be a professional martial artist for Cirque du Soleil. I did that on and off for about 17 years.
That's awesome.
I was able to do different shows. I was able to build a career as a performer and then kind of turn that into a choreographer. And I even went up all the way up to assistant direct in a show called Celestia.
Wow.
When the pandemic hit, everybody got shut down.
Yeah.
And I was still recovering from a knee surgery at the time, and I was actually almost cleared to go back to shows that were shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point in time, I basically told my wife, I says, you got three options: police officer, firefighter, or I'm going to do stunts.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want you to be a cop, baby.
Yeah.
And baby, I don't want you going into burning buildings. You're going to see some crazy stuff. I don't want you to come home and be traumatized. You're most skilled. I feel like your passion is going to be in stunts, and that's what we decided on.
Yeah.
So when pandemic hit and the shows closed down, I decided that I was going to come back home and pursue stunts full time. It was always part of our plan to be on the East Coast.
Right.
When we do have children, we wanted to be here and closer to family.
Right, because your family's here.
Yes, sir.
And you were based out of Vegas, right? Because I don't think we said that.
Yes. So actually, I grew up in Mastic Shirley. I graduated from Floyd in 2003.
Long Island.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
And then when I graduated high school early, and I took my first contract with Cirque when I was 17 years old.
Right.
At that point, I went to Montreal to create the Ka show, which plays at MGM Grand. Still currently going on.
Huge, man. This is all big stuff, man.
Yeah,
This is great.
it's pretty wild. Especially like I don't really think about this stuff a lot. So when I kind of speak it out loud, I'm like, man, it's kind of crazy.
That is, dude.
So what happened is pandemic hit. Fast forward a lot.
Yep.
Pandemic hit. All the shows closed down, and I had this opportunity to come back and be home. And Chaz Menendez, the same guy that runs UATW Stunts, is one of the assistant coordinators on Ghost. And the main stunt coordinator, his name is Pete Bacosi. Both of these gentlemen have known me since I'm like 9 years old. Same like you. They've watched me train in martial arts schools and compete and things like that. And they were interested in me to come in and do some choreography and fight coordinate a little bit for the show. And
Cool.
to be honest, without those two, I really have to thank those two because I wouldn't be here without them. I wouldn't have this opportunity without them.
Right.
They've been phenomenal mentors and teachers, and they've really taught me a lot about the industry and about, fighting for film and how this all kind of works. And I'm just super grateful to have those two in my life.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
So, yeah, they were interested in having me fight coordinate. And
so how many episodes have you worked on with the show?
I did 10.
10 episodes.
So I did all 10.
That's sick.
And there's like a ton of information that I can't release about the show. Like I can't go into story and all that type of stuff.
Wait, has it all been released yet?
No. So
okay.
Last night the second episode came out. So this is the second.
So I gotta tune in.
Yeah.
I'm tuned in.
Yes, sir. So on Saturday nights at midnight, if you have the Stars app, you could watch the episode. Okay. But it does play live on Stars on Sundays at 8 p.m. We're 2 episodes in.
Okay.
The cast and crew is phenomenal.
Right.
Just top notch, and it was a great experience.
So you've been we could talk a little bit. You've been helping them coordinate the action shots.
Correct.
The fight scenes.
Specifically, yeah.
So all those moves they see that's a lot of you.
Yes.
And your team, obviously.
Yes.
Right,
I mean, it's absolutely a team effort. It doesn't just come from me.
Right.
And even before us, I mean, we basically create action based on what's written in the script. So a lot of times it's like you read a script and that's what you have to make happen.
Right.
So it's not like I just get to come in and be like, oh, yeah, we're going to do this big fight. We're going to do whatever I want. It's not like that.
Right. That's cool.
You know what I mean?
So
it actually is almost a little bit of a limitation.
Okay.
So
it could be a small fight scene where the guy just gets punched once and he's out and they run off. Like it's a quick one.
Absolutely.
And there's more elaborate ones, and then
Absolutely, and then you also got to think that there's when you're dealing with a production, they have writers. Writers aren't fighters.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of times where we have to come in and just be like, hey, this wouldn't really work. This isn't really realistic. So we have a really good dynamic between our action team and our stunt team and our writers and producers and directors. So
that's what's up, man. So have you worked directly with 50?
I haven't worked directly with 50.
He's not really there on the set. We can't talk about that. It's all good.
50's a busy guy. 50, he's currently doing Expendables. He's got what, 3
Expendables? No,
yeah,
wasn't that with
Sly Stallone?
Sly Stallone?
Yeah, he's in the new Expendables.
Oh shoot, that's crazy! I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah, for sure. So, 50's one of my idols. He's one of these people that I actually look up to. I think he's in a really brilliant business mind.
Yeah.
He's the type of person that I look at that, even for me, like, I've come to crossroads where there was so much I wanted to do in my life, and I had so many different goals. And my father would always be like, oh, you're spreading yourself so thin.
Right.
50's the type of guy that has all of these goals and makes them all happen.
Right.
3 television shows, an amazing music career, an acting career, builds businesses, has brands. Like, he didn't just say, oh, this is what I'm good at, this is what I'm going to do. He said, I'm good at all of this, I'm going to do all of it.
Hell yeah.
And that's very similar to the way that I look at my life.
And it's all possible.
Time management, baby.
Time management and money.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
and scheduling. Yeah.
As you level up financially, you can do a lot more because you can pay people to do stuff, and you can invest here, and you don't have to worry about exactly. But the level up's coming, man. You already leveled up, dude.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, 50's a busy guy. So I personally don't get to see 50 a lot.
Right.
But I know that his influence in the show really has made his shows very successful.
Hell yeah.
And I think he's got a great mind for film. I think he's got a great mind for music, and I think he's got a great mind for business. So definitely somebody I look up to.
Definitely. That's what's up, man. Well, I'm glad you made that show, and I know it's going to be amazing. So I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch the next up. I'm going to catch up. I'm going to watch the first 2. I'm going to continue to watch the season now that I know it's the new season. I didn't even know that the season was the one.
It's season 2. So did you watch Power?
I watched Power up to season, no lie, season 5.
Did you see me in Power?
I might have.
Yeah.
What episode?
Episode 1 of season 1.
So I definitely had to see you, and I might even told my wife, "Oh, I know Rory." That's
Yeah,
Rory.
so I was shot in the elevator with pink sneakers
Okay.
at the end of episode 1.
Oh yeah.
And then they chopped me up into pieces for episode 2.
Oh yeah.
And it's great.
How'd they chop you up into pieces?
They basically put me on a bunch of like washers and dryers, kind of like in this warehouse. It was freezing cold, bro. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. It was freezing cold. I was full of fake blood all over me, so I'm like wet.
Yeah.
And basically, I don't think they showed it, but basically they made a prosthetic arm, and what they were going to do is they were going to hack at my arm and just let the arm fall.
Oh, so what did you play? You played like a gangster?
Yeah, I played a gangster. So essentially, we were supposed to go in there and rob this girl in the elevator.
Okay.
And then what happens is, obviously, it's not that easy to rob her. She turned around. She started hitting people. I think she clocks me. The other girl slices her across her face. She reaches in her bag and then shoots me. Boom.
Oh,
then the
snap.
other girl runs out. Pink Sneakers runs out.
Okay.
And then Pink Sneakers, actually, her name is Leslie Lopez. Phenomenal young woman and actress. And Audrey Esparza were the 2 actresses that I worked that day. And Audrey got to shoot me.
Oh yeah.
And Leslie got to run out and survive.
That's cool though.
Yeah, it was cool. So it was a good opportunity to meet Joseph Sikora, who plays Tommy.
That's right. Tommy's great.
And Omari Hardwick, who plays Ghost.
All right.
It was really just an incredible opportunity, and it's kind of full circle
How you ended up?
how I'm back here doing that, which is, I'm going to go even crazier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Working in Vegas, and I work for this show called Le Rev, and this fine girl comes in. Fine. And her name's Ashley.
Yeah.
And I was super into Ashley. So ends up being my wife.
Okay.
So
I was hoping so.
Yeah, so we start dating, and she's like, "Oh, you did stunts?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh, what you working on?" I go, "Power." She goes, "Power on Stars?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah, me too." I was a background dancer. I went, "No kidding." I go, "Which episode?" She goes, "Episode 1."
What?
So here it is. Me and my wife already worked together.
Didn't even realize.
Didn't even realize it. And we met in Vegas, and like kind of full circle that we're both back here in New York, kind
That's
of working for the Power universe. So
What a coincidence.
it's nuts. Yeah, it's nuts.
That's awesome, dude. Now you guys are together. You guys got 2 dogs, right?
Yes,
Your
2
babies?
dogs and hashtag power couple. My wife likes to call it a power couple.
Yeah. for
Because
sure.
of like the
Power.
Yeah, absolutely. So
And if you don't mind me asking, what is she doing? Her world of.
so she is a professional dancer.
Okay.
She's an entertainer and like classically trained dancer. And
Okay, so you guys are both in that.
I'm not
box.
even sure if that's the proper term, if I should even say classically trained dancer. I know that she has a degree in dance. She went
Okay.
to school. She went to University of Arts in Philadelphia. She's my favorite performer ever.
Impressive.
Watching her perform is just incredible.
Wow.
She's beautiful. She's passionate.
That's what's up.
Just a beautiful, beautiful individual inside and out.
Oh man, that's great. That's great. So you guys both have very similar type of careers.
Yes.
Body movement,
Yes.
you know, and
yes.
you're both passionate about it. So
Absolutely.
that love really makes your bond a lot tighter. I'm
Absolutely.
sure.
Yeah. For
That's
sure.
good, man. I'm happy for you, man. That's
Thank
great.
you.
That's
I appreciate
awesome.
it.
Let's touch on you creating the Red Bull Throwdown competition. I don't know nothing about that. So
Okay.
fill me in. Let them know.
So when we used to compete in martial arts and we had those performance events, your forms events, basically you got to make up your own kata. And we used to do all these jump kicks. Well, I would go to the tournament and say one of my competitors would do this jump kick. I would go, well, I'm going to do that with an extra twist, or I'm going to throw that jump kick upside down.
Right.
And then it kind of grew from there. And it was kind of like who had the newest trick. And then through martial art competition, this sport called tricking evolved. So I was kind of at the ground floor for that. Now, tricking is like an aesthetic blend of martial arts, tumbling, breakdancing.
Okay.
And the way that we compete is either one-on-one, like kind of like battles, like a breakdance battle if you've ever seen a battle. So we have like one-on-one battles. We also have like 3-on-3 battles. So what happened is we threw this huge event in Vegas, this huge tricking tournament. We got like the top like 16 guys to come in and battle for money.
That's exciting.
And I actually went into Red Bull's headquarters in Santa Monica, told them what we were doing, and they were like, yeah, we're going to come check it out.
Dope.
And then after they came and checked it out, they loved it.
Hell yeah. Why wouldn't they?
So then they hit me up like 3-4 months later, and they were like, we want to do our own. We need your help to run it.
Okay.
So at that point, I had all the contacts to all the top competitors in the world, and I'm talking Russia, France, the Netherlands, Korea,
Wow.
everywhere. So basically what I did is I took the top 16 competitors in the world, flew them all to America.
And Red Bull funded all this?
Yeah, and
this
they funded
huge.
all of it. Yeah, so it was...
and it's the first ever that they did.
It wasn't the first ever... It was the first ever for Red Bull North America.
Okay.
They were running a tricking tournament in Korea probably about a year prior to us running ours.
Right.
But yeah, it was kind of crazy because, I worked with a Red Bull team to basically pick a venue, find the athletes, pick judges, do all the marketing, make the rules, run of show.
That's it.
So it was nuts. It was a lot to handle, but it was a great time, and I think it promoted tricking in a positive light. Like, a lot of people don't even know this, but when you watch music videos and you watch movies, like, you're seeing tricking everywhere.
Yeah, no doubt.
And like, now the sport is kind of getting popular to the point where, like, I was walking in a park one day and I just saw some kid randomly tricking.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what? You know, like, it's kind of cool to think that I had something to do with that.
Absolutely. You're one of the pioneers of this, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So when was that? When was that Red Bull?
I believe the first Red Bull Throwdown we did was in 2014.
Okay, so not too long ago.
And then we ran it for 4 years, and it was great. Had a lot of success, and if you do check it out, I mean, there's millions of views on it, and it's really cool.
Did you compete in it?
I did not compete in it.
Okay.
It's a young man's sport. I'm 36.
Yeah, right.
Like LeBron.
You look like you're 25.
Yeah, I'm 36. So, yeah, my best tricking days are behind me at this point. In my heyday, I was one of the top guys in it.
Absolutely.
So, and I was competing, and I was battling, and I had a whole lot of fun.
Yeah,
It's a good
that's
time.
what's up, man.
Yeah,
Good.
there's videos of that on YouTube, too. I'm sure you'll find some.
Yeah, we're going to
some
leave
better.
all your links. I want people to check you out,
All right.
My whole idea of bringing you on is just to inspire a different, a demographic of kids that want to do something different,
Absolutely.
If they happen to come across this and see, wow, tricking and this and that, it might inspire them to do it, and we might, have a future tricker or somebody that wants to do fight stunts, see your success and come off that,
Yeah, that'll be amazing.
Any advice you can give? Let me see what we talk about. Let me see. We said goal setting and mindset, for success.
So,
how do you approach everything that you do for your success?
So this is going to sound crazy, and a lot of my friends actually thought this was crazy. I aim real high.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of the goals that I say out loud, most people look at me and they're like, yeah, you're crazy.
Right.
But I usually manifest them to happen.
No doubt.
My sister Jessica used to always tell me to reach for the stars. And I always have.
Yeah.
And that... When you're reaching for the stars, you're going to get up there.
Mm-hmm.
If you're shooting for the moon, you might touch some stars.
Mm-hmm.
So I set my goals incredibly high, and then I take it upon myself to figure out how I'm going to do it.
Right.
So I do my research, and I figure out who it is I need to speak to, what it is I need to get done, what do I need to create in order to get here. So I take a lot of that initiative myself. I don't wait for opportunity to find me.
Yeah.
I go and create the opportunity. And I think that's been very successful for me. The next thing that I like to do is I like to manifest a lot of things. I like to say things out loud.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's the first time you put it in the universe, and then now you're starting to build towards it. Something that I do every day is everything about my life, whether it's what I put in my body, what I'm training on today, is all moving in the same direction as my goals. It's getting me closer to where I want to be.
Yeah.
Everything about my life is in that direction. Is trying to get me there. So I like hyper focus on my goals, and I do whatever it is I need to do in order to accomplish them.
Yeah.
So I think work ethic is probably the strongest thing you can have, especially when you have high aspirations. I don't just make goals that are like, hey, this month, I don't make small goals. I make goals that seem unreachable.
Right.
And with hard work and with persistence, I feel like I've been able to accomplish most of them.
If you could see it,
right,
you could work towards it.
Absolutely.
And that's what I always tell everybody. If you could see the goal, if you see the vision of you actually doing it, all you gotta do is just work towards it.
Absolutely. And then the next thing, giving advice. to a younger person that's trying to have success in kind of what I do, it's when you're a professional athlete, what's the first word in that phrase?
Professional.
Professional. A lot of people have the athlete part down, but a lot of people don't have the professional side down.
Mm-hmm.
Professionalism is showing up early. Professionalism is speaking well. Professionalism is like, it's the package that you give to people. So what I like to say is, having talent is amazing, but talent without hard work and professionalism is only talent. It's not going to get you far.
Yeah.
If you want to keep a job, you need to be a professional.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your talent's not just going to keep you the job. If you can't show up on time, your talent is no good at that point.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If you don't have work ethic, you're not going to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to really step out of that box and get any better.
Right.
So I think work ethic, setting really high goals, and being disciplined.
Yeah.
And staying the course.
For sure.
I heard something last week that actually really resonated with me, and it was somebody had said this. I was on set, and somebody said, I like problems. Give me problems.
Yeah.
Because there's always a solution. And it really resonated with me because I've tried and I've failed many times. But every time that I don't ever really consider it a failure, because I've always learned a really valuable lesson by failing and by trying, you know? So for me, the next time I get at it, I know what not to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm very much about the process and about learning from my mistakes or even my victories moving forward.
The journey, getting to there, is the fun part.
Oh, it's the best part.
Right? The
Yeah.
obstacles are great sometimes. You're like, okay, how am I going to navigate? I'm not going to. Some people look at those obstacles like, damn.
Right. It seems super daunting.
Or not. Me personally, I get excited for obstacles because, like, okay, well, I'm going to have to just navigate this way.
Right.
And it might turn out to be like a whole better way to do it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Oh, absolutely.
So that's like the mindset people should have, is like, get excited about your obstacles.
Right. And there's also something that's intriguing to me about figuring out the solution. It's like the research you got to do in order to figure it out. Who can I speak to that knows more about this than I do?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I enjoy that part of the process. I enjoy not knowing. I enjoy having to figure out.
Hell yeah.
Like, to me, it's just fun and it's intriguing and it's
Makes you feel alive, man.
yeah.
You know, in the process.
Yeah. So I am.
If it was too easy, there would be no like.
Everybody would be doing it one.
And there's no like high, like you.
Right.
There's a high to like conquering your,
Right.
you know, obstacles through your journey. Oh, I did it. I got past that. I did this, and it makes you level up, strength wise, confidence wise, and then you, like you said before, you could take that into your next project.
Absolutely. I mean, it's also like competing in a sense where like you don't really know how good winning feels until you've lost. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And having to work and get better and grow and do things differently and provide a solution to be successful.
Right.
I think I am consistently challenging myself every day. I love challenges.
Right.
I take everything as a personal challenge.
sure.
You know what I mean? Like
sure.
when I was training as a kid and my dad would be there critiquing me, I took it as a challenge.
No doubt.
I took it as like motivation. So I don't ever really take things personally in a sense where, like me personally, I really don't care how people feel about me.
Right.
Personally.
I don't think anybody should care about what.
I don't think anybody should really care about how other people, as long as it feels right in your soul.
Mm-hmm.
And it, like at the end of the day, you have to look in the mirror.
Yeah.
But for me, I consistently like to challenge myself, because I feel like this is what I enjoy doing. You know, like I do want to get as high. I don't ever do anything to be okay at it. I do everything with the mindset that I'm gonna try to be the best.
Now, you feel like that was something that you were just born with, or something that maybe your father instilled in you?
Oh, I was my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was my dad. My dad used to tell me like this. He goes, I don't care if you're a garbage man. You're going to be the best garbage man you could possibly be, you know? And it's the truth, man. I mean, my dad was very competitive. I was very competitive. And I think because of that competitive nature in our family and in my career, it's always made us, made me want more, you know, or want to be better or want to be the best, you know? And in the industry that I'm in, you know, especially like doing live shows, sometimes when you do a live show, in order to get into the show, you have to audition for it.
Mm-hmm.
When I was competing, when I used to go to tournaments, my dad used to always try to remind me, say, like, you're the kid to beat. everybody's here to beat you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Your dad's good.
So that always kind of resonated with me. So I don't really get intimidated by being around other people. Like, I don't walk into an audition being like, oh, my God, this guy's here.
Yeah, no.
I kind of go in there like, no, this is my job, and somebody got to come take it from me.
Yeah,
you know what I
that's
mean?
that's the mindset.
Yeah, so it's, I think.
That's why you are where you are, man.
Yeah, and I think that came from, one, my pops, two, my competitive career, and a lot of my instructors.
Yeah. Good foundation in life brought you to this point where you're able to do everything on a high level.
Yes, sir.
What is your goal now for the future? Like, moving forward? I mean, I know you're still going to be doing, your coordinating and stuff like that, but any other future goals for yourself?
It's actually kind of fun because I feel like recently I've had to make some new goals.
Okay.
First and foremost, I would love to have some children.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's goal number one. And I also
does your wife feel the same way? Does she want
yes,
kids?
yes, yes.
So soon, I see a boy and a girl.
I would love that. I would love that, and I hope I have a girl first. Actually,
Okay, I had a girl first.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. First and foremost, I think a girl first. I would like to at this point, I would like to continue fight coordinating. I'm really enjoying it. I like the fact that there's a new challenge every time you get on set. It's a different script. It's a different type of challenge today. But the step up from that would be a stunt coordinator.
Okay.
I've done some work as like a covering assistant coordinator. So I've started kind of learning a little bit about that position. And then on top of it, once you get past stunt coordinator, it's kind of like second unit director, and stunt coordinator is pretty even. So I would like to be there full time, especially as I'm getting older and my body doesn't move around quite as well as when I was 25.
I get it. So being just like the leader, the choreographer, the coordinator, that's something that you're just happy with. That's dope.
Well, absolutely. I think that would be something that I would be happy with.
Because you're involved, you're doing something that you love.
Right. So
this is your true passion, right?
Oh yeah. So
right.
So like the thing is I've done martial arts my entire life. I love martial arts. I've yet to work a single day in my life because I get to do what I love every single day.
No doubt.
So it's never like I wake up and I'm like, oh, I got to go to work today. Oh, I got to put in these 8 hours. It's like I wake up so excited about going to work.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I understand that that's different from a lot of people out there. Mm-hmm. But when you're really passionate about something, I really feel like people should pursue their dreams, because when you are doing something that you love, one, if you're doing something that you enjoy, you're going to do it well.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
and it's going to convey, like, the people around you are going to feel your passion, and they're going to learn better, or they're just going to pick it up better.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
When you don't love what you do and you're trying to do it, it doesn't convey.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I just know that from what I do. I teach, and I'm passionate, and I know I'm very successful at what I do, but I feel like it's because of the passion that I exude for what I do.
Absolutely.
So in your world, like you're awesome at it, you're passionate about it, so everything that around you just works.
Yeah. Yeah, I think,
you know what I mean? Like,
I think what it does is it creates like a very like fun and positive environment.
You said it.
In an extremely stressful, at the same time, extremely stressful environment.
Right.
What we do is not
easy,
safe or easy.
Yeah.
You know, like as a stunt performer, these are the guys in the shadows that come in and do all this stuff that actors may not want to do or don't have the skills to do.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really see them in the bright lights.
Right.
You may see them in the credits. And it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And I think that for me, like a goal for me at this point in time is just to have longevity, be able to do this as long as possible. So there's things that I have to do with my body at 36 that I didn't necessarily have to do at 25.
Right.
But now as you step into that kind of fight coordinator or stunt coordinator role, it's like your job is also keeping people safe. The number one priority is to keep people safe.
Right, absolutely.
And just learning more about that. And I just want to continue to grow in the industry. And yeah, I would love to, you know, hopefully one day get to that stunt coordinator level. I think I have some great people around me and really excited. I've learned a lot already, and I know that there's so much more to learn, but I think I am in great, amazing company.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we'll be able to do it full time one day.
You definitely will. We'll be looking back and be like, remember that guy came on a show?
I hope so.
Stunt coordinator for this, many movies. Series.
I hope so, man.
It's going to happen.
Thank you.
Absolutely. What about acting? And I know you did, you had that episode. You got the bug?
No, to be honest, I really don't.
No?
I don't think acting is. I don't think it's my strong point. I think like action acting, in a sense where like playing that getting beat up and being hurt and really selling the fact that like you are getting beat up and you are hurt. Like to me, that's more of what I want to do.
Right, not actually acting like.
Yeah,
You speak well though.
Thank you.
You
I
do?
appreciate it.
You carry yourself well, so I mean, I can see you do some acting.
I think I could do it.
Yeah.
It's just not where my passion lies.
Right.
It's not something that I'm like, oh yeah, let's read this script and I'm gonna portray this and can I cry? Like I'm not sure that's up my alley. I mean, is it something that I would be open to? Yes.
Right. Well, I mean, look, you have the opportunity. Possibly, you're in that world, so that's why I asked.
Yeah,
the opportunities may present themselves.
Yes, and if it does, great. But I really like being on the action side of things, and I like the violence.
Yeah.
I like the violence. Most times when I'm on set, it's either I'm a police officer, I'm a thug.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to play both those worlds, and I like to leave the responsibility to the actors.
Absolutely. Okay, that's cool. I just wanted to see favorite experiences on stage.
Man, there's a lot. I think my favorite experience on stage is Cirque du Soleil every year does a charity show called One Night for One Drop. And basically what they do is they raise money for clean water in countries that don't have clean water. And every year what we do is we create a show. We take like 3 or 4 months and we create a show brand new. Mm-hmm. We put it on one of the local Las Vegas stages. And every year we have a different recording artist come and they actually sing and play their music throughout the show. One year I was playing a character for One Night for One Drop, and our musical guest was John Legend.
Oh, that's cool.
And John Legend was literally playing the piano and singing while we're performing on stage. Wow. And I remember at the end of the show when we were walking out of the VOMs or the tunnels to come and bow, here's John Legend playing the piano and singing, and I just remember walking on stage and like seeing the hair on my arms just like raise. And I think that in that moment I was just like, I'm on stage with John Legend. This is crazy.
That is crazy, dude.
And it was beautiful. And that was probably one of my favorite moments ever, being on stage for live entertainment.
That's huge. I could just imagine that.
Oh, it's nuts.
John Legend, you guys performing. That's dope.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Could we watch this anywhere?
I'm sure you can. I'll find a link for you.
Yeah, man, I want to see that.
Yeah, it was crazy. I played one of the main characters, and I had a little solo in the show. It was pretty cool. Actually, so in this show this year, so we had like this, I want to say it was probably like 40 feet, and it was about 4 feet wide. It was like a track. Okay. And if you fell to the right, it was 40 feet down, and if you fell to the left of this track, it was 40 feet down.
Wow. And
I basically tricked across the whole thing. What? It was nuts. And I remember the director in rehearsals being like, Rory, chill. You're getting close. But
so wait, how wide was the stage?
About 4 feet.
That's it?
Yeah, about 4.5 feet maybe.
That's nothing, bro.
And it was just like, so imagine like, here's an abyss, here's 4.5 feet.
And you have no room for error.
I just went, yeah, no room for error at all.
Oh, man.
Error would have been bad that day.
You guys got to check that out. I'm sure that's out there somewhere.
It's got to be out there somewhere. Yeah. But like I said, when you work for a Cirque du Soleil, it's not even the danger of just what you're doing, but it's also your environment, the atmosphere. Yeah. It's like, there's very minimal room for error.
Yeah.
And that's why I have so much respect for the other Cirque du Soleil artists and the cast and crews and everybody behind those types of shows. It's a very, very dangerous occupation.
Yeah, they put themselves in some positions.
Yes,
for sure. Let me see, man. We hit a lot.
Yeah, we did.
And you were very animated and very into it. I love it. Well, speaking about martial arts, you're a martial artist. Do you watch martial arts?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What is UFC? Do UFC's the?
I watch UFC. I watch boxing.
Yeah.
I watch obviously martial arts movies.
Okay.
Favorite fighter of all time. You want to do this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Favorite fighter of all time would probably be Georges St. Pierre.
Okay, he's amazing. That he's a professional.
He is a professional.
Yes.
Exactly.
I think the way
that he conducts himself beyond how talented and how hard he works as a martial artist, I think the way that he conducts himself is something that I aspire to be.
Yeah.
Favorite boxer would probably be Tito Trinidad.
Tito.
I think that's my favorite boxer of all time.
And what's your nationality?
Half Puerto Rican, half probably European somewhere. I'm not even sure.
Okay. So you are half Puerto Rican?
Yes. Okay. Mom's Puerto Rican.
Okay, so you grew up on rice and beans?
Yes, rice, beans, pasteles. Yeah.
No doubt. Okay. So that's why you like Tito too. I'm sure.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Yeah, mine was Macho Camacho.
Oh, yeah. I knew that.
Macho's my boy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he got me into boxing as a kid. Just watching him on HBO as 6 years old, getting carried to the ring. I'm like, who is this?
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, that's it. I want to be whatever he is.
Yeah, I want to be that guy. So who's your favorite current boxer?
Currently, right now, I wouldn't say my favorite. Terrence Crawford.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
I like Bud.
Yeah,
Bud's nice.
He's a technician. He's versatile. He can hit you from any angle.
Yeah. He's long.
And he's a professional.
Yes.
He carries himself. He doesn't do too much trash talking. He does, but he does it at like a classy level. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
He's reserved because he believes in himself. He doesn't have to talk.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. My father used to say this all the time. Your talking will happen on the mat. You don't need to tell people how good you are.
You show it.
They'll know.
Let your hands talk.
They'll know. Yep. You know what I mean? So that's also another thing that I've lived by. Like, listen, I want you to continue to grow, and I want to continue to hit my goals, but I'm not doing that for anybody else. I'm not doing that for any type of recognition. I'm doing that for me and my family.
Yeah.
And I've lived by that statement that you don't need to tell people how good you are.
Yeah.
They'll find out. They'll see your work. They'll know.
That's true.
So for me, just being a professional and continuously growing in my career is probably my two biggest goals. Because who knows? Like, who knows what the limits are?
There are none.
Right.
Really aren't.
Right. So then, like,
life changes so quickly. Things change. You don't know how far.
Absolutely. And like so far, God's kind of dealt me a really nice hand of cards, and whatever's thrown my way, man, I'll deal with it.
Is God a big part of what you do?
I wouldn't consider myself super religious. I believe
we don't have to be religious to have a connection.
Absolutely.
You know?
I'm definitely spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that everything happens for a reason, and I also think that there's sometimes in life when you're going through hard times, there is something that pulls you up, and sometimes when things are good, there's somebody watching over you. So. I definitely believe in a higher power, and I am spiritual.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that I'm at service every Sunday.
Okay.
For the holidays we go, but I wouldn't say that I know much about.
Well, I would say that I don't believe religion has anything to do with your connection with God.
Absolutely. I feel that
because I've been to church. I went to church for many years myself, but I always had a strong connection with God, regardless whether I went to church or didn't. So I don't base my strength, my connection and my faith with religion. I base it just my personal connection, relationship with Him, and my prayer. I believe personally that with faith and having, belief in God, it actually helped me with everything I do in my life.
For sure.
Having that faith and that strength and just knowing I could talk to Him. So I don't know if that's how you are.
Oh,
you pray.
It's identical.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I pray a lot. And I do believe, like I said, I think that there is something inside me that gives me that. How can I say that? It's like, I wouldn't call it an outer body experience, but like there's something in me that makes me believe in myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I definitely believe that comes from a spiritual place.
Okay.
There's been times where I've really been at the bottom, dealing with injuries and dealing with some hardships, and I know that it wasn't just me going through that.
Right.
And so I would say I'm spiritual. I wouldn't say that I'm religious.
Right. And that's fine. That's great. I feel like as long as you have a connection, I think it's important. I try to instill it in my students as well.
Absolutely.
And I go, you believe in God? Kids that I see that are really good at boxing, and I go, it's good to have faith. It's good to have a connection and prayer. Because he'll take you places.
Absolutely.
And if they don't, at least they question it. And I got it in their mind, maybe I should start praying, or maybe I should build that connection,
Right, absolutely.
Because I winning the Golden Gloves and all that, I prayed when I ran.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would jog and pray.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I remember.
I'm shadow boxing and praying, and you know, it was just he was with me all the time. And
Yeah.
I had to believe and had to have that faith in myself, and you know, just the connection throughout training. I believe that he blessed me with, you know, my victories, not because he wanted me to win, but the strength I gained from that connection helped me
Right.
become
Absolutely.
victorious.
Yeah,
You
I was
know,
very
so-
similar. When I used to compete, I used to pray right before I walked into a ring every single time. Even when I was on stage, before I was performing, I would pray. When I'm on set now, I pray for myself. I pray for other people.
Yeah,
You know, so absolutely, there's things in my life that weren't in my control.
yeah.
That I believe my spirituality has been able to get me through. So.
No doubt, brother. That's what's up. I love it. Well, I think we hit a lot. Rory.
Yeah, we did.
We hit a lot. It's Sunday. I have to go do lights at the house.
Yes.
Or I'm gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, Christmas time, baby.
Yeah. And you know, I'm really grateful you came here to tell your story. You know,
Thank you.
I know someone's gonna be inspired by this, and if not, just enjoyed our conversation. And I look
Wonderful,
forward to
man.
having you back in the future and tell us more about what you got going on. And that's it, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on my show.
Dude, it was an honor. Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, this was a blast. Hopefully I can come back at some point, and
Yeah.
hopefully,
Maybe I have a bigger studio. Maybe,
oh yeah,
maybe I have a producer.
nice, nice.
Maybe I have heat. too.
Sound guy, you know.
Yep. But I appreciate you. Guys, thanks for tuning into this episode. It was great talking to Rory. And guys, if you want to know more about Rory, all the information is below. Make sure you find him on Twitter, Instagram, wherever he is. It's all below. Check him out. He's very inspiring. Everything he does is immaculate. It's amazing what he does with his body and what he does for other people in this industry. And don't forget, subscribe, like, and share right now. Have a good one. Peace.